10mm socket, Nurse Palin. Screwdriver. No, JIS. Spray a little 303 for me. Okay. Oh, okay. Suction. Shoot. I need paper towels. Okay. Need 17mm. Clamp the gas line. Are those bearings? Hold right here. No, we're losing them. Don't you leave us, Peter. Palin, get the manual. Call Mike Pomgren, stat. Stay with us, Peter. Give me a booster pack. Oh, more paper towels. Oh, this isn't good. So I took a little time to clean up the shop a little bit, hit the reset button, and position the 84-200E, which is under a blanket, next to the 83-200E donor. And we are going to be taking a couple things off this machine to make the 84-200E nicer. And what the plan was has evolved, as it usually does. When I first saw this machine online for sale, I said, ooh, original tires. So I'll just swap tires and rims over to the 84-200E. It's got the center rack piece. I need that. It has a crack-free right side rear fender. I need that because the one I bought has a crack right in through here. So I'll hot staple that and put that one back on this. I will take the rims and tires off the 84-200E and put them back on this. This is an OEM rack. I had a modified, I don't even know where it is. It's behind me. Somebody had, it fooled me at first, but the rack that came on the 84-200E is not correct. I got looking at this front fender. It's got a melt mark here. And that is not the original mud flap. But this one has no melt mark and the original mud flap. So fender goes too. And then I got looking at the forks. And the forks had some more surface rust on them than I liked. They do work. They still work because that's a common problem on these first gen Big Reds. And this one works too. So now I've decided the whole front end goes over to that. What else? What else? The rear end. The rear end for the 84-200E sits over there on the floor. This rear end is pretty nice. Kind of dark, but it's clean. So, you can take the carrier, everything right off this, swap it on. And the last thing, I think, the exhaust. The 84-200E exhaust has a weld repair, and we're going to put the bad one on this one and the good one on the keeper. As far as I know, that's all I'm taking. Just those small handful, dozen things. But I think what I'm going to do now is start pulling off things I know I'm going to need. And it might start with that fender, and we'll go from there. I don't want to make it so it's not movable until I'm ready. So that's what we'll do. Here we go. So after one morning of harvesting parts off this decent little 83, harvesting some sorrow, maybe, depending on if you think this is a travesty. But I've taken the rear wheel off to get to the bolts to take the fender off to get the exhaust off. And upon examination, surprisingly, the heat shield on the 83 came right off. which if you've ever tried to fight that battle, you'd be as surprised as I am. So heat shield came off. This is a little more corroded. That's the 84 from Finland. That's a little more heavily rusted. So we're going to use the 83 with the 83 muffler. I will clean that up. The 84 muffler and header will go back on the 83, which I'm wiping down a little bit as I go. It looked good from a distance, but it'll look better when I'm done. Just cleaning it out. The least I could do, I took the centerpiece off the rack. Got nuts and bolts laid out here. I got my shop manual right there. Service manual, official from Honda. Oh no. That was what my son was using. Where's mine? Thought I had the right one. Never mind. I got one in the cupboard. How embarrassing. Anyway, I think right now I'm going to dig into the back more. I'm going to take that wheel off. I'm going to remove the whole axle assembly, carrier, and all of that. 2 bolts up top, 2 bolts down bottom. There is a tensioner down bottom to consider. And then we're going to swap that over to the 84. I think that's probably a good place to leave this off. Here we go. Well, how long did this take? Let me see. That took about 45 minutes. And that thing is just bouncing there pretty precariously, so I'm going to try not to bump anything, but this is why I'm taking this axle out. Look at the yellow chromate or yellow zinc. There's debates on what it actually is, or if you have it done now, I guess it's yellow zinc, but maybe then it was yellow chromate. I don't know, but the axle looks beautiful. And yeah, there's some mud right here, but we're going to stick this up on surface and wipe it all down. Something I did notice, that's bent. And that gets sandwiched in the tow hitch, so I might swap this tow hitch out for the other one just so I don't have a bent bar. But I think this little exercise was worth it to get this axle, which is surprising because this has rust on the grab bar there, but the axle looks so good. We'll clean inside of everything. And this is my first time taking the rear end out of one of these. It's only 4 bolts that holds the carrier in. There's about 4 bolts that hold the cover to the frame. 3, I guess. And then the cover is bolted to the other side of the cover. Pretty interesting. But I'm going to get to work, get this lifted up and sprayed down and clean on it a little bit. I don't think we'll have time to put it in that one, but we'll get her started. Here we go. All right, we have moved on, and we have the rear end extracted out of the donor 83 200E, and it sits here getting cleaned up. Now look at this. Would you look at this? That's why we're doing this. That is why we're going to the lengths to... Well, we could have left well enough alone and just popped in the other one from Finland. I've moistened everything down so it's softening so I can pull it out. But this is not that. That's still nice. If this is how it was, I would I'd be fine with that. That's fine. But because the other one is so much nicer, I want to do this. That's what we're doing. I've just been cleaning. I don't know that anybody wants to watch me clean. Clean and wipe and clean and wipe. And then I'll wipe it with some 303 just to kind of protect it. And then pop it in the other one. And I'll show you what we do when we do that. So stay tuned. Palin is earning her keep in here. What you doing, sweetheart?
I'm cleaning.
What's this machine?
Peter.
Why is it Peter?
Because we're robbing him to pay Paul.
That's right. That's right. That's funny. Do you know what make and model Peter is and year?
84.
Nope.
Big red.
Yep.
87.
Oh, you're getting colder.
Oh.
You were close with 84.
Oh. Is it lower or higher?
Lower.
83?
83.
83.
And what model number is an 83 Big Red? 200E.
Ah, 200. Okay.
Is this a 200E?
Yeah.
Yeah. What year's that?
84.
84. So Palin is cleaning up the rear end. Here, let me get back here and just, we're going to sell this, but she wants to pretty it up just a little bit. We noticed some taillight wiring corner cutting. We will fix that. She has cleaned the 84 200E rear end from Finland. We are going to put that in there so you can see it's just a little bit more tired. A little more use, corrosion. So that's going in. The one we're selling. We have robbed Peter to pay Paul with this guy. Look at this one. This is nice, huh? It's got some patina down there. You'll probably have some mud stuck in there. That's a hard place to get when you're trying to clean it up. I just sprayed a little 303 on it to give it a final wipe down before we pop it in this beauty here. And I'll probably set my camera up to let you watch me wrestle with that. 4 bolts hold this in. 2 top, 2 bottom down here. This little piece is your chain adjustment. It's got one of those funny little threaded tab things. I don't know what catches there. I don't know. I didn't notice anything catching it, but maybe I missed it. But once that's in, we're going to be in good shape. What's this little wheat pole in the frame? It's supposed to be there. Well, let's get the camera set up and you can watch this. Say bye, Palin.
Bye, Palin.
Palin is making these OEM tires shine great. The rims have a little dirt in them. She's getting that. We had to fight with, and it's never the big things. I couldn't get that screw in. And it kept wanting to go in crooked. So I ended up having to pull the sprocket, even though I didn't want to. The other cover, I took the hub off to get everything off, and was able to get it lined up that way. And plus it wasn't I wasn't able to get a socket on it. When I took it off, I could. Something else that's interesting, I was going to put the chain, since this is the rear setup off the 83, I was just going to reuse the chain off the 83 on this, but it was a full link short. I could not get that on. So I don't know what's going on. Does this have a bigger front sprocket than that? I'm not sure, but once I put the chain from the Finnish bike on it, it fit. US 83 does not. But I'm about to put the cover and everything back on this. Palin's doing the tires. We're going to get the hitch cleaned up. She's doing great. And then we'll be able to put the rear end back in that one. And this swap will be complete. Hopefully we can get the front end pulled off the 83 and get that swapped over. And we might have this on 3 wheels. Based on our pace, that might be where we end up for the weekend. What do you think, Palin?
Yeah.
What do you got in that bottle?
Water and some form of soap.
Dish soap. But she's getting those cleaned off, and then we'll hit them with some 303, probably once they're on the machine, and it'll be looking pretty fantastic. All right, over and out. So, we're just about done for the day. Palin, did we get everything done that we wanted to?
No.
Not even close. We did some good work, and we're going to show you what we did. Palin's stomach is right at ear level, and it is growling. So, we're calling it quits, but let us show you what we did. Which one's this, Palin?
Peter.
Peter has lost a bunch of parts, but gained back a dirty rear end. Palin has been wiping things down. We needed to pull the other fender off it. I've got that old tablecloth covering up the gas tank just to prevent any oopsies. But we are gearing up to pull the front end. We're going to take the whole thing because the forks are in better condition, and the rack's better, the fender's better, all of it. We are gonna put the 83 headlight bezel back on, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but these are painted. 82, 83 are the last year that they are just a painted kind of manila color shell. 84 is the first year that they are injection molded red plastic like the fenders. Why they did that, don't know. Do you know, Palin?
No.
Don't know. So we are going to keep the correct 84 bezel. This is all installed. Looks good, like $1,000,000. Had a little oopsie because I forgot to put the chain guide in there, but it is now. Super pleased with that. Definitely worthwhile to take that off Peter. Poor Peter. Giving up all his good stuff, but it's for a good cause. We've talked to him. He knows. He's getting a deep clean, so that's where we're going to end it. Any parting words, Palin?
So long, people.
All right, we'll do what we can tomorrow morning, and then we got to try to get this up for Sunday night. So there you have it. See you tomorrow. Okay, a new day has come, and we are going to extract the whole front end. And if you've never done this before, pre-86 on most models, I don't know, I think Big Red's 86 all the way through, have loose ball bearings. You'll know when you take this off. This shouldn't be overly tight, and there is a spanner type tool that loosens that. That is a little bit tighter than I can do by hand. But the goal of that is not to be, set home. But when you pull that off, you'll be able to tell whether or not you've got loose ball bearings. And if you have loose ball bearings up here, you have loose ball bearings down here. And when you lift your frame up off your steering stem, unless there's a good amount of grease in there holding it in, and it's a safe bet that some will be free, it will drop the bearings out. So either you've got to try to catch them by hand, or it would be good to vacuum up your floor so you know you are not mixing bearings with things you can't see. But I know these are loose, so when I lift this up, I'm going to get a jack, put it under my frame right here, and jack it up a little bit and put my hand there to try to catch ball bearings. A magnet is good to assist if you have one available, but let's get this underway. I just loosened that with a set of channel locks. It didn't take much force at all. So this is under your top triple plate that I have removed. You watched me clean that. These are fine threads, so it takes longer than you'd think when you're recording your YouTube video. Oh, come on. We've got to be getting close. So, this is your top bearing race. I still got the front wheel carrying weight. So no bearings stuck to this. They're all in there. We're going to do a count. It should be the same top and bottom, but we're going to count them right now so we know what we need when we go back at it. And then I'm going to pry all those up. I'll probably use a little bit of magnet that I've got sitting right over there. Here we go. Okay, we've got 21 bearings. Now I've got a paper towel right here. So this is a magnet I've had since I was a little kid, but it's nice and strong. So there's 3. Three more. 21. All accounted for. Okay. I'm going to try not to lose those. So now there's nothing stopping us from lifting the frame right off that steering stem. But when we do, like I said, we're gonna have some rogue balls probably. But I'll try to set that up and let you see how that goes. All right. We are set up to do this. I'm just gonna try to keep my hand in there while I... Okay. Shoot, my magnet's over there. Things seem to be staying put pretty good. One, two. Three, 4. If you do lose some of these, you can buy them right on eBay and whatnot. A pack of 50 or whatever, or 100. They're not terribly expensive. So That's 12. So there's 9 of them still up in the race. Oh, there's one. There's 8 of them up in the race. A lot of times these will be a lot more dried out. And they'll just fall. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Got 7 more. Should have 7 more. Okay, if they won't come out with a magnet, they're probably going to stay right there. I know I need 7. The thing is, you can pull them and hit them accidentally. You can hit them accidentally when you are pulling the steering stem out. Okay. There's 4. Five, 6, 7. Got them all. So if you've never done that before, they stick right in the grease in your race there. So yeah. Now we just do that in reverse. We'll wipe off the old grease, we'll put on some fresh grease, and slide that right into there. I just spent a little time cleaning that up. Just had a lot of dried, caked on old grease in there that I've gotten out. That took a little bit. But I wanted to take a moment to address a couple people that assumed, without doing any research at all, because this wasn't like high-tech, scientific research I had to do to confirm that the 83 model of 200E was not the last model. Now, if you look, this was made in December of 82. Some people get confused and think they've got an 82 model if the date says that. But no, this is your model year, 83, made in December of 82. This digit right there. So I always start with 86. 86 is G. E, F, G, F is 85. E is 84. D, A, B, C, D, E, D is 83. So 84 is the next letter of the alphabet, so E is what we're looking for. This might be tricky because I have powdered it, and now it's only visible maybe with a light. Let me get my light here. All right, so here's the VIN. E. You see it? E. Now, you might go, oh, well, geez, I can barely see that. Well, European models have this VIN tag, and you'll see that also says E. And it also says when it was made, 11/83. So 11 months after this one was made, this came down the assembly line. So this is a model year, 1984 200E. So it wouldn't be an 84 that I changed the frame on, because it's chain drive. 84 frames in America were shaft drive. And as I'm learning, it's a totally different setup back there. So just want to do that little lesson as I gear up to put some sticky grease on my lower race. Now this grease I got from my grandpa's shop. He ran a stone quarry, and I've had this tube of grease since probably 1998, and I only use it to do this type of stuff. That's the first machine I used this grease on in 1998. So I think it's pretty funny. Hasn't gone bad yet, no mold. But we're gonna put this on. This is very sticky, so the bearings will stay right in place. 21 bearings on the bottom. I'm gonna set the tire on my round little jack and lift it right up into the neck of the frame, and then repeat on the top race with bearings. You know, I might even do that before I slide that up in. That would be the smart move. So everything's greased and ready to go, and just slide it right in. I'll set up the camera so you can watch that. Okay, 21 bearings down bottom, 21 bearings up top, nicely greased with sticky grease. Now we're going to set up to install. So the only things I'm going to have setting ready for me is the top race and that nut to secure everything. So here we go. So that's where we're going to end it for today. Looks really good. Not a complete surgery, but we harvested a lot of things off this guy as I trip over parts behind me. The fork swap is complete. This has the rear end back in it. We're putting some Changshin knobbies on this. I've got two other ones that match the front tire that came on the 84. But those are going on the 83, so we can have original rubber on the 84, and it just looks so nice. My son Bennett was cleaning up the wiring harness, so in the morning I'll start feeding that on. And I'm going to take the exhaust off the 83 and prep that with some paint. I think that's the right thing to do. Since this looks so good, putting a rusty exhaust on it is unsatisfactory. This will just have the 84 exhaust put back on. But with it like this, minus the tablecloth that's protecting the tank, it will serve as a great guide as to where to route the wiring harness, and they'll all go back together simultaneously. But I'm pretty pumped. Oh, one thing we noticed as Bennett was cleaning the wiring harness, the dash on an 80, let's do this first. The dash on an 83 200E has the pad that covers the mounting bolts, unlike the 82, but there's no lights, no neutral indicator, no nothing. But on an 84, they put a neutral indicator. How fascinating, huh? So Pretty unique machine to consider they did things like that just for 1 year. I think there's less differences between an 83 and an 84 200E than there is an 84 200 ES and an 85 200 ES. I think there's more differences there. But thank you for watching. I appreciate that. I was going to try to get these done, but I just ran out of time. Weekends aren't long enough. And I spent a couple mornings this weekend, or this past week, cleaning my shop, which I'm really glad I did, because you'd be hard-pressed to tell I did that based on how it looks now, but I needed to hit the reset button. So I'm just going to hit the ground running tomorrow morning and hopefully have a finished product video for you next week. So thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You don't want to miss out on all my amazing content or boring content. Either way. Thanks again. Have a great night. See you next time.